Hi, everybody.
Hello.
It's Crystal.
And I'm Rugi.
This is Real Walk
to Real Talk.
Today's topic is L.O.V.E. Love. That's all the singing you're going to get from me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it.
This topic.
I love love.
I love love too, I guess. I think I'll love it more later on when I'm like in love.
Well, there's so many different layers
of love.
and
Like I
dimensions
have
of
love. For
Today
people.
we talking about like love in regards to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were having this deepest conversation yesterday about love, relationships, and what love looks like to us now versus what it used to look like when we were, early 20s, teenage years.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to see how our perspective has evolved over the years.
Yes.
And we both were like, we gotta talk about this. So
Here it is.
here we go. So yeah.
Okay.
What is like love to you? What does it look like to you?
Well, when I think of love, I think unconditional. I think I've had a great example of people I've seen in love. Now that I've grown a little bit wiser, I cannot really say that I feel I've been in love, because I feel like people who aren't in love, you fight for that love. You fight to keep what it is that got you guys together. You keep that going. And I think when you've had relationships that haven't necessarily worked out, you start to think about all the different things that went wrong, went right, what you like, what you didn't like. And now I'm like, I don't know if I was really in love. I think I was in lust. I think I was like in deep infatuation, but I can't necessarily say I was in love. Like, I just don't, because there's nobody now that I thought when I thought I was in love that I'd be like, oh my God, I miss you so much, come back. Like, I don't have that. Like, you're gone, bye. It's been real. Like, that's where I'm at with it.
I guess my question for you would be like, what made you think that you were in love back then versus knowing now that I wasn't in love?
I think what it was is I enjoyed having that person around me. I can't say just that person, those people around me. I think you get infatuated with what could be.
The idea.
Yeah, the idea of it. I think now I have a better concept as to who I am, who I am in like Christ, like, because I think then I didn't have that. So you're looking for love in the wrong places.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Hey.
Okay, anyways,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I think that's what I did. I think I looked for love in certain people, and I think for me, I had this obsession with marriage, and I think that's what it comes down to. And a lot of people might not want. I'm gonna get real transparent and let you guys
Let's
do
it, girl.
Get deep.
Let them know.
Yeah, I think I wanted marriage very bad. Like,
did you want marriage or did you want the fairy tale?
no, I wanted that person. I think I wanted the fairy tale too. What girl doesn't really want the fairy tale? Some people don't. Like,
Yeah, some people
now I can say the fairy tale isn't.
It's not as important.
It doesn't. It doesn't do that for me. The relationship that I want with somebody and that feeling that that person's there and we're gonna build, like, that is what pulls me now. Whereas then I was like, my parents have been married. My parents have been married for over 30-something years, 37 years. My grandparents have been married for 50 years. I have aunts and uncles and cousins who have gotten married. And in my family, especially growing up, I'm Sierra Leonean West African. And growing up in my family, they put a really big
emphasis.
Yeah, a really big emphasis on marriage, and you need to get married. When are you going to get married? Every time you go somewhere, somebody's like, oh my God, Rugi, when are you going to get married?
It's like your claim to fame.
Yeah, it's like that's what it kind of came down to. And so when you have that pressure, which no shade to my parents, because I know that they love me and they do it out of love, but that's a lot of pressure. And like, what's it, 2-3 years ago, my older brother got married, and then you're at that place where they're like, oh, he got married, you're next. And I'm like, well, right. I could barely, like, no, I'm not. I don't even got a date. Like, let's bring it all the way back. But it's that pressure, and then society kind of makes you
puts
be like, yeah, that's
too.
even more pressure, because you have everybody like, oh my gosh, I'm alone, and this, you start to beat yourself up, and then you start to think that it's you. And then if you're in these relationships with people where they kind of make you feel like you're not good enough, and or I'm also guilty of just kind of accepting love, because I don't call that love. We'll do quotations for it. Love. I was guilty of just accepting love, where I would have somebody like, you're there, if I want you to take me to eat, I feel like going to the movies.
Okay, first of all,
don't do it. Shut up.
Them taking you to eat is not.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, it's that, like,
right.
a date of having somebody just to do things with. Because sometimes, yeah, I can go out with my girls, but then sometimes I don't want to go out with my girls. Sometimes you want a man to take you out, and you want to have that good time. You want to be wine and dine.
You want companionship.
Yeah, and so I would, if nobody else was there, I always knew that this guy was on the back burner. He ain't doing nothing. Right. So I'm going to take him. But I had to, especially within this past year, like, really look at myself and say, like, that's not cool. And so, and then there's other people who I'm a repeat dater. That's what I was. I'm not that anymore. But I used to, like, re-date somebody, where I'd be like, he was terrible back then,
but maybe he changed.
Yeah, I'd be like, he changed. He could have changed. And then I go back and he didn't change. He's the same fool that he was before.
There's a reason why you had to stop.
Yeah, but then I would be like, oh, you know, you get so comfortable in that.
You were in, like, settle mode. Like, you would settle for things, I think, because, one, you didn't really know what you wanted. You didn't know who you were. And I think that was attached to the, like, I call chaotic dating techniques.
Yes.
It's like, if you don't know what you want, you just sample everything.
Yeah, because you just, like, and also... I've been guilty of saying, like, I ain't got no type, because I don't. Like,
you really don't. She doesn't. That's why I can't hook her up with nobody, because I don't really know what.
Because it's not only just about the physical. Don't get me wrong. Physical is cute. I like them cute.
It's not like,
but it's not
everything to her. If you feed her.
If you could feed me and make me laugh,
like, she will give you a chance.
I'm like, he's
so funny,
cool.
And he took me to eat.
So cool.
That's not. We've elevated our standards, though.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
That's so last year.
That's so 2015.
Yeah. But, no, but I'm just one of those people where, because I know some cool people where I'd be like, oh, he's with that girl. And I'm like, she doesn't even appreciate the fact that he's like this, and that. And I'm like, oh, but that's what he like. What do you do? But I just, and I don't think then, if back then had God has sent me the person who he's going to send me, because I know my husband's coming, but if he had sent me that person, would I have been able? I wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, because one, I had a horrible attitude, and I think you have to be able to compromise, and I wasn't in that position to be able to compromise, because I know that comes with marriage. I also had a real nonchalant attitude. Like, I just didn't care. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not doing all that. And I think for certain things, like I said, you want somebody who is going to fight for you. And I'm one of those people where I
fight
will not.
Fight for you, someone who's going to challenge you, someone who's going to help you, like, be your best self.
Yeah.
Push you towards
I was one of those people where I'd be like, if you're out doing whatever you're doing, I would be like, I don't care enough. We could talk, and this is another bad habit that I had, is that I would just completely ignore somebody. I'd rather not even have to deal with the conversation, and I would just hope that you would just get it.
But do you think that, let's just peel off the layers,
Right.
Do you think that it was like a defense mechanism that you used to protect yourself from being hurt, so you would be the one to, like, shut things down?
It was... a little bit of that, but it also was I didn't want to have to hurt that person because I know what I felt like when I would be hurt, and I would just be like,
oh, you're talking about when you're like not interested. You're like,
yeah,
it's not gonna
I'm
work,
just
so.
like, I'd rather just be like, bye. Like, don't call me, I won't call you.
Okay, but can I tell your business?
No, you can't tell my business.
Not like tell your business, but tell what I saw as your sister.
Oh, go ahead.
So about like the situations where it wasn't like that you didn't like him, but you did like him, but you would like start doing
sabotage. Yeah, I'm definitely good at that. Y'all just getting all of me today.
Let's just,
let's just put it out there. Whatever. I am who I am.
Your tea out there. Everybody sit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you doing the self-sabotage was like a way that you could protect yourself, you thought, from being like really hurt because you've been hurt before.
Right.
I think people do that, or only do that, when they've actually experienced some type of hurt.
Yeah.
Before, you know what I mean? So
and
you don't
I guess
feel
for
it
me,
again.
and also when you've had people in your past kind of tell you like you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or where they did at one point in time make you feel as though you were good enough to be with them, but I've like had someone tell me like you're not it, like you're not good enough, blah blah blah. And so when you have that, you learn to be like, okay, well, nobody's ever gonna make me feel like that again. So after that, you put your wall up, and when I tell you my wall was up, like
she got the wall Donald Trump won't. She had that wall up. She had that.
But then I had to learn to I think that's when I got real close to God, because at that point in time, the only person that could really, well, not, God, is the only person that can show me what love is, who I am, what love really is,
right,
and how to accept that love. Because how can I say I want to love somebody else when I'm not loving me and I'm broken inside? And so you don't get that.
I think over time you just started taking pieces from the broken relationships and agreeing with those pieces,
right?
And so then you don't know what
love
that is.
Yeah. And so and then you learn to, then you just take stuff from people. Like, I'd rather, at one point in time, I was like, I'd rather have a small piece of you than nothing, just to be like, well, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? But then, and then you get to the point where you see other people and you're like, how are they in a relationship? But now I'm like, I had to get to a point where every relationship ain't good. Every Facebook, I love him, he loves me, ain't real.
Right.
And you get to see that. And I have a lot of friends who have been through other stuff where I just had to I had to literally take a time out from dating. I don't want to date. No, don't hit me up on Facebook and ask me, hey, I'm in your city, because I'm going to tell you that's great. Go look at the Golden Gate Bridge. It's fun. Like, I'm not doing any of that. Right. And then I also have to be real with myself and other people that I finally got to the point of being like, this isn't it. I know that you're not my husband. Like, and that's...
And like, so, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, because after a while, it gets old. It gets old. And I just got to a point where I was like, okay, God, I'm going to do it your way. Because obviously my way is not working. And ever since then, I've been a lot happier. I've been able to be happy for other people. Like, I love love. I think people in love, because I'm one of those people, I draw on other people's energies. And I like seeing you with your husband. I love that. Seeing you with your kids. That's love. Like my parents. I love seeing like elderly couples in love. Like, that warms my heart when they're just holding hands. That type of stuff. Like, I loved it. I love love. But I've grown to be the person that I am now, and I've learned to know what type of love I will accept, what I won't accept. And it wasn't an easy journey getting here. It's not easy being 30-something and single. And especially when I'm not the only one. Like, I have a group of girlfriends where we're all educated, black women, and sometimes society will make you feel like you being black, educated, is not a good way to get you a man.
Oh, because you can't have everything.
You can't have everything.
You can't have family, you can't have
And I don't feel like that's
a career, and you can't have love.
Yeah.
Because how do you balance all that?
Right.
Yeah, I feel that too. But I mean, of course, I'm living a different life.
Right.
In some sense, because I am married.
Let me ask you, what is your definition of love?
I think that it is layered. I think that it's evolved over time for me. But of course, there's unconditional love, which everybody doesn't experience.
Right.
There's that love that like gives you permission to be like your full unadulterated self, like where you can really take your mask off.
Right.
And then there's conditional love. And I think that I've got to experience, all of that. My story is like, I think it's a unique thing just because, I was younger, because I'm still younger when I met my husband. I started dating him when I was 18. He was like, I think that I was like you in high school. Like, I didn't have the steady boyfriend ever. I was slightly mean in high school.
No, not you.
I know, it's hard to believe now because I'm
What?
such,
Not you.
such a brown sugar. But yeah, like
More like Epsom salt.
You know what? The shade. Anyways. So yeah, I don't think that I really had experience with like a serious relationship until my husband. And I think it's nothing but God and his grace and his mercy over the relationship. That's why I think that it was like specifically designed, like he had his hands all on it, because there's so many times where we both could have totally sabotaged the relationship, messed it up, broken it off or whatever. But I think we like taught each other how to love.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it evolved.
Your love language.
Well, I think that is, we're still learning, like, each other's love language. We talk about that sometimes. But just learning how to love someone beyond their imperfections.
Right.
And still being like, I want to be with you. I still want to do this. And keep it a healthy, like, environment and situation.
Right.
I think sometimes people's, especially our generation, because the divorce rate is so high, like their idea of healthy means things have to be perfect, but that's totally not true. Like it's impossible for it to be perfect. There's going to be ebb and flows. It's not going to always be, you're not going to always like your mate.
Right.
They're going to get on your nerves. They're going to irritate you. But for me, I think that when you really, really love somebody, like, you're going to fight for that relationship. You're going to make sacrifices for that relationship. And I think it's like making decisions regarding you two beyond what you want, beyond yourself, beyond your pride. And also, like, knowing that you can get through, like, hard times. The thing about it is people don't really, like, delve into what hard times are.
Yeah.
And so hard times hit, and I think that's why when stuff goes wrong, people be like, we separated, we divorced.
Yeah.
And when me and my husband got married, I was 24 when I got married, and he's 3 years older than I am. So y'all do 27. Y'all do the math. We had like serious talks before we got married. Like, you sure you want to do this? Because I only want to do this one time. I don't want to do it again.
Right.
There's like no option out for you, homie. Once you put the ring on it, that's it. And we did counseling, and I think more importantly, the way to like sustain your love is you have to be friends with your mate.
Right.
It can't just be about like, that's my boyfriend and y'all get physical, and I think that's where like stuff gets
mixed up,
convoluted, because so oftentimes, especially in these times, it's like you got to give it up to get a man,
which is the hard part, especially when you've changed and you're not on that path anymore,
right,
of like sex before marriage, especially when you start to really get into the word and
you start feeling some kind of way about it. Yeah.
Like when you get to the point of you're feeling like, after it, and you're just like, because I just have this thing, I feel like, well, especially because I have friends who are married, we have real talks. I know that after you do that with your husband, you know, you're in that euphoria of, you know, and like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then that's, who doesn't want that? But when you're not doing it with your husband, you obviously.
Well, it's like you're taking, well, okay, so, I mean, and I'm in no way perfect. I wasn't
I'm not probably
the poster child.
I'm not perfect.
But like the year before, I guess we'll get in my tea. Okay, so the year before we got married, me and my husband started like really going to church together. I grew up in the church, but it was like I had a relationship via my mom. So it was like me and Jesus cool because, you know, my mama's saved. Right. But I started to develop
Shout out to the praying moms.
Right. I started to develop my own personal relationship with God. And the year before we got married, we decided to be celibate. And that is very hard, especially when you cohabitate. We lived together, so it was a struggle. But I think that that sacrifice did something for our marriage. Mm-hmm. And I can understand, like, the pressure you feel like because like in society right now it's taboo to wait. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what
you ain't
mean.
having sex. What?
Yeah.
You a prude, or you think you go get a man that way, or
right. But at that point in time, it's not even about getting the man. It's about like giving yourself that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's because the thing about it is you can have sex with somebody and it can mean absolutely nothing. You give them that part of you.
It's special.
Yeah, and then
you're letting them deposit a piece of themselves into you, and then whatever they got going on, like all the bad things that they got going on, you now have a piece of that.
Right. And it's always left in your memory and all that. And then you get to the point where you're just like, you know what? I'm not going to do this.
Right.
I'm going ahead and give it to Jesus. And I've had that conversation where you have to be like, so I'm not I'm not gonna have sex with you. And I've had somebody be like, yeah, that ain't for me. Mm-hmm. It was cute though, like I get it, and I'm completely fine with that. I don't think nothing past that moment with you if I really don't care, because it just proves to me you're not that person. But I think that speaks to your evolution, because now you know what you want in love, you know what you want in a relationship, and you want somebody who respects you, who will respect your decisions, who won't push you to do things that you don't want to do, who won't judge you for the decisions that you made for your life. You know what I mean? And if they can't deal with that, then he not the one that's supposed to be loving on you anyway. And it's completely fine, because it kind of it helps weed out people, especially when, as you know, you're in your 30s. Early 30s, you start to be like, you know what, I don't care. Like, not that I don't care, but that doesn't bother me. Him being like, oh, well, that ain't it. Well, obviously, you need somebody that you can go and jump on. Go and find her if she's out there. Like, and it has nothing to do with me. I don't take it personally. It is what it is. And that's how I know I've grown, because I could just be like, And I already had a nonchalant attitude before, but it's just like, right now, I could really not care now.
Yeah. I think for me, like where I'm at now, like, because I'm in a space where I'm working on being more vulnerable, which with love, like, to get to a certain level of love, you have to like be able to be willing to be exposed, I guess. Like, and when I say exposed, I don't mean like, ooh, she hiding something. I mean, like, just being able to expose the broken parts of you, the hurt parts of you, the things that you keep protected because you just want people to think that you got it together. And believe it or not, even though me and my husband been together for a long time, there's still spaces where I have to grow and peel off the layers and then be vulnerable with him, because for so long I've been the type, like, I could take care of myself and can't nobody hurt me if I protect my, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where the, like, I got this, I'm good, you can't affect me attitude come from. Right. But
where sometimes I have to be like, girl, bring it back. Like,
yeah, just, you know.
Like, it's okay
to be gentle.
Yeah, because sometimes Crystal, it's my sister, I love her, but sometimes she just is like so hardcore, like G Unit, like thug days, like
Okay, sorry,
bring it back.
I digress.
Yeah,
no, but
it's just like, you know.
Yeah, like I think for me, I'm learning that love is more about like giving yourself the permission to just be free with that person that you call your lover or your mate or whatever, and to be comfortable with being uncomfortable with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like in certain spaces, there are things that may have happened in my life that I'm not totally comfortable with sharing.
Yeah.
But with him, I need to be
comfortable with sharing
and trust that I'm safe.
Yeah.
With him in all spaces. And just give him like every layer. And I think I've learned that honestly from really how my relationship with God has evolved, and learning how much God loves me and how God loves me, and how vulnerable I have to be with God, even though he knows all, he sees all, he knows every layer of you,
he created it, so.
But it's being okay with knowing that God knows all that, because there was a time when I was walking through life like, okay, I know y'all say God sees all, knows all, but we ain't got to talk about it in prayer. Like, I don't need to say, God, you know what I mean? Like, if you know it, then let's just move on. And so that's what I feel about love. I also think that real love like motivates you to be your very best. It doesn't try to stagnate you. It doesn't try to keep you bonded. It wants to see you, whoever you're in love with, they want to see you grow to your fullest potential, and you do the same for them. It's a lot of like pouring into each other and helping each other enhance and go after your dreams and goals. And going back to what you were saying, like how society pushes that whole like an educated woman, you can't have it all. And I think I've always had the mindset that can't nobody tell me what I can't do. So that was never like, that part wasn't a struggle for me, because it's like the more you tell me I can't,
the more
I'm gonna show you that I can do it. I think that it works if you have the right partner. If both of you guys have sat down and discussed what the vision is for your family, for your household, then you're gonna do what you have to do to make it happen. You're gonna help your husband and wife have a successful career. You guys are gonna be partners in your parenting if you have kids, and you're gonna enjoy life together and love. And you can have it all. It's just about you putting the limitations on yourself, and putting the limitations on how far your love can go.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
I know we're gonna have to do a part 2 because it just gets so deep.
Yeah.
But I think the bottom line is real love shows grace like God does. And it's a collaborative effort.
You guys are teammates.
Right. That's how you have to look at love, marriage, successful relationships. It's not just about, oh, baby, I love you. It's about we're partners in everything that we do. And I respect your space. You respect my space. I respect your opinion. You respect mine. And you feed off each other.
And I just want to say for, like, single women out there, like, just stay encouraged.
Fight the power.
Yes. Also, I'm learning to do this also, so this is part of the journey. So we'll probably talk about this later. Dating, I'll put it out there a little bit, like, you have to put yourself out there to meet people, but you're single, you're not desperate, so you don't have to just settle for anything. It's okay to be like, nah, bruh, it ain't you. And it's okay to say no to certain dates. And it's okay to date yourself, like, love yourself. I'm just doing different readings. I actually did read The which was a really good book.
I read it too, and it was good.
Yeah, it was a really good book.
I'm not waiting because I'm married. But
yeah, but it was one of those where I was already waiting prior to them doing the book. But it was just more confirmation and just to be okay with your decision. That's between you and God. You don't have to look at it as, oh my gosh, how long am I going to have to wait? Look at it as, I waited today. Worry about the day. don't focus on what's all the way out there, who's all the way out there, because you'll notice it'll definitely clear up people who come with like no good intentions. And like for me, one of my biggest things is I just don't want anybody to come into my life and mess up what I have, because I feel like if I had gotten married when I thought that I was ready, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And there's so much that I have accomplished over this time that it's part of my destiny. It's what God has set me up to do. And so just stay encouraged and don't let people get you down, whatever.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you said. So to all my single friends, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Marriage is not easy. I see it firsthand.
And to my married friends, like, just know that you can have a successful, lasting, healthy marriage as possible. The thing about it is, you and your partner, you guys have to create your own vision for your marriage, because I feel like
you can't go off what other
you can't
people
go
do.
off of what other people do. One, because you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors within their unit. Two, society's perspective of marriage to me is so warped. Like, I just couldn't use that as my foundation.
Right.
My parents were also married. My mom is deceased, but my parents were also married for over 30 years at the time of her passing. And so I feel like as a kid and as a teenager, I didn't really understand, you know, what it was that they were doing as a married couple. It wasn't until, you know, I became an adult, you know, lived a little. Now I can really reflect on their marriage and realize, like, oh, I see why, you know, when it was rough or when they were having hard times, why my mom was so determined to, you know, fight for her marriage, and why my dad was so determined.
Keyword, fight.
Yeah, and also it just showed me, like, there's challenges. Yeah. It's not going to always be pretty. But I respect how they moved in the struggle. Yeah. And I respect more now than ever, you know, the decisions that they made within their marriage, the ones that I could see, because you don't know everything that's going on. Right. But it's not a fairy tale, but it can be healthy. It can be something that's, you know, very vital to your growth. And I am in a place where I'm like, wow, I got married young and it's still lasting and I'm still happy, because a lot of times when people get married, you know, as young as I did, by now it could be done with. And that's no shade to people's marriage that's, you know, falling apart, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's an accomplishment. Grace is sufficient. Yes. Because it's not easy, you know? Right. So stay encouraged, love, and learn who you are so that you know the true essence and true definition of what love is supposed to be. Right. Well, that was a good dose of real talk. We'll be back and we will talk to I think we're just touching the surface of this. So. Really, I really love this topic. Yeah, we'll be back, but make sure you subscribe below and follow us on all social media, yep. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and hit us up, message us sometimes. Let us know what you want us to talk about, because we'll do it. Yeah, let us know what's working for you when we have these talks with people. We really just started this platform just so that we could say what people are thinking sometime, and just have real discussions that, you know, we have with our friends. And this is what we do every day. So email us at realwalk2realtalk@gmail.com, and we will talk to you guys later. Peace, love, and soul. I'm not okay. Whatever. Bye, y'all. Bye.